going to set up our render nodes in a moment. The actual out ROPs, the render ROPs, right? First of all, I'm just going to come into the reflection beauty render here and into my redshift tab, and in the visibility just turn off primary ray visible, okay, because we don't want to actually render this grid. We just want to render we want to capture those secondary rays, which are the reflections which will bounce onto the car. Okay, this one we can leave as it is, but then we also want to come down to the car, shadow, car beauty, and the glass. I'm just going to select all three. I think this should work. And then come up to the redshift tab again, and then to settings, render, and then just check this mesh deformation blur from velocity attribute V. Okay, which will allow the velocity to motion blur to work, right? So that's all good. I'm gonna just organize this, give these a different color. Let's see, pink, and then maybe to make them stand out again, we could give them a different shape as well. If you come up here, what's the shortcut? Z. So you can press Z, and we could make them spiky like that. Why not? There we go. So they stand out. Cool. And you can also even put a box around them. Render. And even color the box. So much that you can do. Look at that. Make it let's make it black so they stand out. Cool. And then I'm going to jump into my out and type redshift. Redshift custom I think is fine. No, we could do it like this. Come to the redshift shelf and then click on this redshift thing, and then we'll get a redshift IPR and a redshift out ROP. Okay, and let's set this up. So let's see, so we're going to want to render a range, frame range, yeah. So not everything. I'm going to do from frame 48. You can do less or more if you like, obviously within the boundaries of the animation and the simulation that we've got. I'm going to do to 140, and then for the resolution I'm going to go to user specified resolution, and I'm going to do 1920 by 1080. Okay, the render is not going to be this, that doesn't exist. So oops, what have I done? So make sure we go ahead and find this camera inside the FBX, SH01, so for short one. So that's good. And then let's see, into the output here, we can type in where we want to actually render this. So I'm going to put this into class render. Okay, I'm going to make a new folder called class render. I'm going to use the $OS here because I'm going to use more than one of these ROPs, right? So I'm going to put $OS slash version1 slash $OS. Okay, so I'll have a folder called class render. In there I'll have a folder with this name, and then in that will be another folder called version1, and then the actual file name will be $OS, and then we need our $F3 or 4 is safe. Okay, so that's the padding. So for 1,000, if you've got 1,000 frames, we don't, but why not? We'll keep it like that. And EXR for our file type. So that's fine. AOVs, you could add in AOVs if you like. I don't think I actually need any. Let's see. Well, I'm not going to use any in the compositing, but you might want to. So, you know, you can come in here and add, you might want to add Z depth, to add your depth of field. I don't know. Let's see, shadows, ambient, you know, you can add in whatever you want here. I'm just going to leave that. We'll have one for the diffuse as well. And then let's see what else. In the redshift tab, we definitely want to come in here and up the samples to get to reduce the noise. Okay, so I'm going to push this up to 64 0.128 for the maximum number of samples. If necessary, that's how much will be used. Again, yeah, these will obviously increase your render time. So depending on your system, obviously Redshifts super fast, and we don't have anything too complex going on, so it shouldn't take too long either way. But you might want to drop these numbers down if you find the renders are taking too long. And then we definitely want to turn on motion blur. Okay, I'll just check all these. Probably don't need this, but we'll leave it on anyway. Global illumination, I typically just use this brute force, okay, for that bounce lighting, okay. And then I'm going to leave the objects thing a moment, and I'm just going to alt click and drag. So we're going to do 3 separate renders here. Okay, one's going to be the beauty. Let's call it beauty pass. Okay, so the name I put here will go into the where is it? The main, where are you? Output, comment, here. Okay, so I'll get different files when I change these names, the different folders and file names actually. We'll have a shadow, pass, and the light post by itself as well. Light, post, pass there as well. Okay, and now so at the moment, they're all doing the same thing. To make them different, we come into the objects here and we can select what they're going to render specifically. Okay, so the objects here refers to these objects. Okay, well, anything here, but obviously we're just going to use these ones. So come back out to here. This star means it will render anything with the visibility turned on, so nothing at the moment. So just in case you leave things on, it's good to get rid of that and use the forced objects things. So for the beauty pass, we're going to want the reflection beauty render. Okay, so that's going to give us reflections from the ground, but we're not actually going to see that grid on the ground. We're just going to get the reflections on the car and anything else here. So we want that. We want the glass render. Where is it? Glass beauty render. Oops. Control and click to get rid, and then control and click to add as well. Glass beauty render, and then obviously we want the car beauty render also. Okay, I could have just typed in beauty with 2 stars actually, but there we go. So that's it for this one. For the shadow pass, also come into the objects here, get rid of this star, and then in the force objects, we'll go to grid. Where is it? Let me find it. Reflection shadow pass. Okay, and the car. Oh, I've forgotten one. Oh no, yeah, car shadow render. Cool. And the light post pass. I think we need the car shadow here as well. Car shadow render there, and the light post render as well. Cool, so they're all good to go. Just one thing I forgot to do. I just realized where I was pasting this in. I realized we forgot to, in the car shadow, just like with the reflection, turn off these primary ray visible thing. Okay, so that means we won't actually see the car here. We'll just get the shadows from that. Okay, whoops, out here. And then so to render these, you can use an IPR just to check how they're looking. So you can maybe we can do that quickly. Just drop the beauty in because that looks good. We'll try. Let me just save this just in case, my Houdini crashes. Let's just click this IPR. You can do it in lots of different ways, but I'll just do it this way. My Houdini just crashed there, so what I'm going to do is just go into this beauty pass, press P, and come into my main, and then change this to, I don't know, we'll try half resolution. I think it's quite hard while I'm recording at the same time, right? So let's see, we'll try that again, and hopefully we'll get a render. So there we go. There's the car starting to render. I won't finish this out fully, but you can see we've got a bit of motion blur going on there. You can kind of tell, even though it's still rendering, you can see the glass breaking and looks fine. So I'm gonna close that, jump into my out, and then we should be able to merge these. If I drop a merge, okay, and then we should be able to render them together. And then basically you come here and click render. What I'm going to do is just change these and just do a couple of frames for demonstration purposes. Okay, so yeah, you leave that at whatever you want. I'm going to change these and just do a couple of frames for the compositing, to show you the quick bit of compositing. So I want to show from, let's do frame 75 to 85, so we get that the initial crash. We'll just do those, and then I'm going to come here and render. Yeah, for some reason this merge isn't working with these. This kind of doesn't seem to be going through each node. It works fine with Mantra ROP, so I guess it's just works with them. So you just have to go through each one. So select it, click render to disk. When that's done, do the same with the next one, render to disk, and then you'll have everything will come up fine.